Good evening, I'm Cerri Lee, for those of you who haven't seen me before. And welcome to Tea with the Druid 96, I believe. I am here to chat a little bit about some of my ideas about empirical evidence and personal gnosis within our magical paths. I have notes, so if I'm kind of gazing off over here at any particular point, you can see, hello Dean, Addy, sorry, glasses are slipping. And hopefully we'll be joined by lots of people from all over the place. Hello everyone, as I can see you all popping in. Hello from London, hello from Sussex, coming in loud and clear, good to hear that. Good evening from the Netherlands, hello Lawrence. Hey, welcome everybody as you join in. I am sitting here, my heart's pounding because I'm not used to doing these things. Obviously, this is kind of new for me, but I am really happy to see everybody. You're all looking all over the place. It's in New Zealand. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Right, I'm going to chatter on because I know that I faff and witter and lose time. So I am going to start chatting and I will try to keep track of your comments as we go. So empirical evidence and personal gnosis in our magical paths. This is a subject for me that has become more I don't want to use the word contentious, because I've had a few comments on things where people have tried to intellectualize a magical path, and it made me think about my path. It always makes me think about my path whenever there are things that comments that appear to be negative. They're always, as our lovely Selena Fox in America always says, good opportunities for learning, and I believe in that quite a lot. And I think that empirical evidence and personal gnosis are an ongoing thing that we should continually check in with ourselves well. So empirical evidence is evidence based on, I'm going to read this, guided by or employing observation and experiment rather than theory. And personal gnosis is personal experience that an individual may have with the gods, which can bring forth some understanding of the divine, whether established in law, e.g. mythology and so forth, or otherwise, and weaving those two aspects into our magical and spiritual paths. So my experience most recent with this is a journey that we've been doing with our grove. It's an ongoing journey that's been going over about 2 or 3 years now. And we are really connecting with our goddess here, who is enshrined in the landscape's name and enshrined in our grove's name. And that is Andraste, or as we prefer to call it, Andred. And we've been exploring connections. We have been sitting down, we have been meditating, we have been communicating. Hello, everybody. I can see everybody there. You know, look, everywhere, from everywhere. We have really been going deep with Andred. We have been working with her mostly because there's very little known about her, apart from her connections. Hi, Sandra. Her connections to Boudica, or Boadicea as she has been called, and the famous address where she talks to her people and apparently divines by letting a hair run from under her cloak, which is auspicious or not, depending on which way they run. Andraste was known all across Britain, as far as I understand, particularly, but her name is enshrined in the forest along the south of England, from directly south all the way across to the southeast, and particularly in a great forest. And as I say, very little's known about her. So we have been working with her in order to collect empirical evidence for ourselves, for our magical path, for our connection to our grove and the work that we do within it. And it's been a really incredible journey. It's been revelatory on so many different ways. We have worked in meditation, we have worked in soundscaping, we have worked in ritual, and we have called in the ancestors to help us with this journey, connecting through the land. And what we have discovered is a goddess who is still vibrant, still powerful, still watching with us and acknowledging us. And this journey culminated a couple of days ago in a ritual in the woods, where one of our members agreed to invoke the power of Andred in a sacred ritual created that we might talk to her directly and ask her what she would like from us, how she would like to be honored. And it was incredibly emotional. It was fundamentally life-changing for me personally. I was incredibly overwhelmed by the emotion of it, as were many of us. There was a sense of reverence, a real sense of presence, and not what we expected, and not that we expected anything particularly, but I had invoked her previously in a ritual against fracking on the Longman Hill, and I had felt a rising anger about the notion of tearing into the earth and creating all of that difficulty. And so I suppose I did have some little expectation. Hi to everybody. And that's not what I got this time. That's not what we got this time. We got a gentle, powerful, quietly spoken presence who spoke and said, I see you. I'm grateful for your honor. I understand. You're energetic. And I broke down a bit, and I was asking her to fill us full of energy and righteousness to help find some way to bring our kind of somewhat politically divided nation back together, to show us a way. She just was, this not important. I've been here always. I will be here long after this is all finished. This is temporary, and you need to maybe move beyond that and not be consumed by it. Definitely not what I expected, and incredibly emotional, incredibly beautiful the way she spoke. And then all of a sudden she was gone, leaving us all to sit round the fire, kind of drinking our tea and grounding with our crisps and chocolate to review what had happened and share our kind of intimate experiences with each other. And I'm still gaining things from this. I'm still working with this emotionally, and I don't think I will stop for a while. This is a pinnacle of experience with Andred, and is, for me, the quintessential point of personal gnosis and empirical evidence. because the things that we shared after that ritual were so consistent in our emotional response, in the way that we were all individually drawn to be close, to want to be reverential, to the unbelievably overwhelming emotion of it all, that it was incontrovertible. And for me, this is kind of quieting some of the voices that I've heard that say deities is fantasy. I've been called childish and a fantasist by people who think that deity doesn't exist, or that all of this is just make believe and things. And I, like I said before, I've questioned that time and time again to make sure that I'm not making this nonsense up, if you know what I mean. And I want to say to the people who think that it's fantasy, maybe you need to try and open to stuff, or maybe it's not for you. Maybe this sort of path is not the magic you're looking for. This is not the magic you're looking for. Move along. But for me, it is real magic. It is something that reaffirms my belief systems. And I question it hard. I do not just take it at face value. I look at this stuff and I say, okay, is it what I expected? Yay or nay? Is it something that I would like to happen? Yay or nay? I ask, when it's speaking to me, whatever it is, whatever deity it may be, Ceridwen, Bridget, Cananas, any of those deities that I feel I have a personal connection with, are they saying what I would want to hear, And 90% of the time, it comes as something that I wouldn't necessarily say to myself. It comes in a way that I wouldn't necessarily imagine. It comes in a way that says something, speaks to a deeper part of me. 10% of the time, I could say, yeah, maybe I was kind of making that up, or kind of, kidding myself along. And, you have to be honest with these things, and you have to question everything. I'm just looking at my notes here. I've already gone off thing as usual. But in our journey with Andred, we have really explored it. We've explored these things together. We've been very honest with each other and with ourselves. And we have shared quite deep things that normally people wouldn't want to trust to each other with. And I think that the consistency that we have found constitutes empirical evidence, and the personal notice we have all accrued with this has deepened our relationship with our landscape, with our ancestors, with our magical paths, and we're all a bit the richer for it, I have to say. And I think this goes, and we're not all like-minded people. There is a diversity within the group. There is a diversity of perspective. There is a diversity of lifestyle. There is a varied colour in who we are. So, we're not all looking for the same things from a magical path. Some people are brilliant at putting the question, what's it all for? Why though? What are we doing this for? And these things, when they are in regard of a magical ongoing growth, personally, are really important. Keep questioning. And my personal gnosis and my experience, although similar to my friends or to other people, is always going to be different. my story is different. My color is different. My views on life are colored by my conditioning and all of that. And yet there is consistency. Yet there are verifiable things that we can share, that we can agree on. Through diversity, we find similarities that feel right. And I think that's the point. When you are working with magic, when you are working with spiritual growth, what you are looking for is the right things that feel right, things that mean something, things that move you emotionally. And part of doing this stuff is about improving your magical, spiritual, mental, physical well-being, making you a whole arounder human being, able to see things from different perspectives. And that is a powerful, powerful tool to have for life generally. And my belief from that is that diversity of viewpoints and speaking and communicating helps us with our choices that we make on our paths, be they mundane or magical choices. They help us to see other people, that my truth is not the same as somebody else's truth, but there are enough similarities, I think, a lot of the time, that we can come together in, some kind of an accord. And the more we do this stuff, the more we talk about it, the more we honor somebody else's perception of what happens, brings communities closer. It's a slippery slope if we try to define everything in hard truths and structures, because I think it limits perspective. And I think it stops people feeling valued. And I think we need more feeling of value in the world right now. So that's my view on empirical evidence and personal gnosis in a kind of nutshell. So what I want to kind of do now is take us into a meditation, if you're all up for that even. So on these things, I would like you to kind of get comfortable wherever you are. Maybe close your eyes, take a few deep, calm breaths. Take a breath with your feet. Feel them placed firmly on the floor. Send your energy down into the earth like roots of a tree. And take a long, slow breath through your body and connect down with the deep, deep earth. And then send your mind out to the waters of the earth, the flowing rivers and streams that echo the blood pulsing through your own veins. And take a long, slow breath with the waters of the earth. And then reach out with your mind's eye to feel the stars, the sun, the moon, the clouds, the rain, the powers of air that fill your lungs and help you connect all three realms together. A long, slow breath with the breath of life. Continue to breathe deep and slow. And with every breath, feel your body lighter weightless, unbound. Feel yourself rising from your seat, from your place, from the earth, up and up, rising above the houses, rising above the trees, rising high, high, high into the air, so high that you are seeing the cities, seeing the lie of the land, still rising, still breathing, safe and secure. You pull up and up, see the forests, the green, the line of the countries as they meet the oceans, up and up until you are flying high, high above the earth. The earth spins below you. No longer can you see the cities, no longer can you see individual things. It is one whole beautiful globe, many coloured, many faceted, a creative ball that recycles and reuses and evolves. Time is nothing. Time is continuous. All life, from the tiniest ant to the greatest of the tectonic plates, moving and shifting far below you. Feel the power, the immensity, the diversity of our beautiful blue planet. See it in its place in the solar system. See our solar system in the vast, vast and eternal universe. Feel the power of infinity, of diversity, the spirit and the spark of life shines out from our blue, blue globe. Time has taken its toll on the planet. Asteroids and comets have changed and shifted the evolution and the timelines. But still the earth is blue and beautiful and diverse, and she sails through the void with her companions through the stars. Bring yourself down and down and down, closer and closer to this nurturing, powerful, evolving place. And as you come closer and closer, feel all life in symbiosis, in harmony. Feel it, reliant, connected, like a giant energetic web. Nothing can survive on its own. Everything relies on everything else, all touching, affecting, and part of this great blue planet. Come down and come down, closer and closer to the earth. And as you do, feel yourself part of this great web. As you come down and down, closer and closer, you slide effortlessly, feeling part, whole, and connected to every part. Down and down and down, back into your body. Do not lose the connection. Understand that with every move you make, you are part of the energy. Everything you do ripples out beyond your own sphere. Send out love, possibility, potential, hope and renewal, and feel it reflected back and back. Feel yourself back in your own body, never to be disconnected, never to be left alone or wanting. All the time you can feel that web. And take a long, slow breath to feel your body fully and completely back in this space, in this time, in this moment. Feel comfort, feel connected and at peace, knowing you are part of a greater mystery. When you're ready, open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, and feel fully present. I thank you for joining me today. Hello to everybody I haven't had a chance to say hello to. I hope you're back. I hope you feel complete. And I hope to see you another time. And I will try and answer any questions or any comments either today or in the next few days. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Much love. I'll see you another time. Good night.